Today we are looking at two mutual funds that gives you exposure to the US market. One is the Mirae Asset S&P 500 Top 50 ETF, and the second one is the ICICI Prudential Nasdaq 100. So from the name you can guess what it kind of does. Like one is saying it's S&P 500, which is like the top 500 companies, and it's picking the top 50 stocks from the S&P 500 index, whereas the other one is Nasdaq is mostly concentrated towards the technology sector, and it takes the top 100 companies, right, excluding a few sectors. So over the last 3 years, 3 to 4 years, right, what we can see here is that the top 50 ETF, given that the US market has been growing, and we haven't seen like a major crash in the last 3 years, the top 50 ETF has outperformed the Nasdaq 100, which is heavily focused towards the technology sector. So let's look at the technology, the sectoral exposures as well, right? I initially actually thought that this is going to be like the top 50 ETF might have a bit of diluted exposure to the technology sector, but no, I stand corrected, right? You can see that pretty much they are the same, right? About what 9% difference in the technology sector. So it's fair to say that both are heavily focused towards technology sector, and also you have a bit of consumer discretion. Having said that, one is like heavily concentrated towards 50 companies, whereas the next one, the second one, is like 100 companies, right? So you're kind of like increasing the number of stocks, whereas the top 50 is like very concentrated risk, right? You're betting on 50 companies, but you can also see that about 100 companies, right, instead of 500 companies with the S&P 500. What I want to quickly show is the kind of exposures that you have, right? So of course we all know that Nvidia has been going up and up for a while now, right? And you can see that in both these indices you can get um, the top tech exposures directly, right? So in Mirae Asset you're getting about what 62%, whereas here it's like 53%, right? Just the top 10 companies, you're betting almost 60% of your weightage into these top tech companies, right? And the weightage are not like low, right? These are like 12%, 12%, 10%, right? So something to think about, right? And before I end this video, I just want to do a quick exercise, which is it's S&P 500 top 50. So you're picking only the top 50 stocks, right? And Nasdaq is the top 100 stock. So you can keep on going further, right? Why not top 25, or not, why not top 10, right? So the more you reduce the number of stocks, right, you're increasing the number of risk as well, right? Because you're betting on few companies, and you're pretty much not sure what sector is going to do well in the future, right? So as an exercise, what I thought was like, okay, let's pick up the top four companies and see what happens, right? So I just picked the top four companies, and of course, right, this has a lot of bias, right? Because you're picking the top four companies that has done well in a period like last 3 4 years, where the stock market has gone up, right? And of course, it has performed tremendously well compared to S&P 500, and compared to S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, and also the Mirae Asset top 50, right? And there you go. I just wanted to quickly compare two of the famous funds like that gives you exposure to the US market. I'll see you with another interesting fund and another interesting comparison next time. Thank you.